Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Suberu. I'm from SMATT Civil Consults. In this video, we'll be starting our training. This is our company name, SMATT Civil Consults Contractors. So, this is our registration number. We offer the following services. We offer services and training on structural design, architectural design, electrical drawing, mechanical drawing, consultancy, construction, and contracting services. So you can reach us through this WhatsApp number. So we do online training and physical training as well. So today we'll be looking at Revit, Autodesk Revit. So this is Revit 2021. So all the techniques I'm going to apply in this video is enough for you to handle any Revit. I've used different versions of Revit, so the version you are using doesn't matter. So just pay much attention to the video. So in this video, our Revit have loaded. So the next thing now is to start a new project. So if I want to start a new project, I will click on new. If I want to open any of the drawing I was working on before I started this training, I'll open any of them. So whichever may be the case, in this situation I want to open a new project, we'll click on new. So when I right click on new, so it will tell me to select a project template. So I will come to metric architectural. That is metric architectural template. Then I'll click on OK. So you allow it to load. Okay, our Revit have loaded. So the next thing now is our graphic user interface. This is how Revit user interface look like. If you can reminisce, you'll find out that our project browser is not here. So for us to bring our project browser to the graphic user interface, we'll right click, we'll click on browser. So click on project browser, then you see our project browser have loaded. So the first thing we'll be talking about today is our graphic user interface. So this is how the interface look. So this is the architecture tab, structure tab, steel tab, precast. So all of this you get to understand it in this video. The next thing we are going to look at is our context menu. So if I right click, for example, if I right click, the context menu will pop up. This is our context menu. So it will show me if I want to cancel, if I want to repeat the thing I have done before, if I want to recent command, then find reference view, zoom in region, zoom to fit. If I want to zoom to fit, for example, so I've zoomed to fit. So in these, the things you can do in your context menu. So for you to go to your context menu now, right click in the drawing area. The context of the content of the context menu depends on currently selected object. So that is just it. So if I select wall, for example, then if I right click, it will ask me, say, repeat type property. So if I want to repeat type property, or if I want to create similar, for example, I can just create similar, then I will bring it down. Then if I want to delete this one, now I'll just select it and right click and delete. So that is our the power of our context menu. Okay, now the next thing I want us to talk about is our drawing area. So your drawing area talks about the area that you can create your model. So now this is our drawing area. All this space left is our drawing area, while these are the 4 cameras. So for example, if you want to move this model, now we'll select it and move it. So we'll move it. I'll come to move, I'll click on move, I'll move it. So I have used cross window selection to select it and I've moved it down. So the next thing we want to talk about is our elevation view. So in your elevation view, you will be able to view your model from numerous elevation perspective. So we have, this is our elevation view. So under our elevation view now, we have our south view, we have our north view, we have our south view, we have our west view. So that is under our elevation view. So the next thing I want us to talk about is our contextual tab. So inside our contextual tab, so this is actually our contextual tab. See it. So under your contextual tab, this your modify is your contextual tab. See your modify is your contextual tab. So in your contextual tab now, it organizes the ribbon relevant to the selected object. For example, if I select this object, so it will organize the ribbon relevant to the selected object. You get. So then the next thing I want us to talk about, which is the 19th thing, is the contextual panel. So your contextual panel now provides tools relevant to the selected object or current action. For example, now so I've taken time to explain most of the tools that we use. So the next thing I'll be going to now is wall tool. So like other basic elements in a building model, wall are instances of predefined system family types which represent standard varieties of wall function, composition and thickness. So that is it. So you can customize these characteristics by modifying a wall type properties to add, remove layers, divide them into regions. So these are the basic things. Just as you know, your wall now, this is your wall. So you can divide this wall now. For example, if I want to divide it now, I'll click on split, then I'll split it. So by so doing, I'll divide the wall into two. I'll divide it into two now. You get. Then if you want to, the shortcut for wall is WA. Then so we have different method of placing wall. For example, so if we come to architecture tab, then I click on wall. So I can either place wall using line, can either place wall using rectangle, can either place wall using inscribe polygon, then I can either place wall using circumscribe. So if you pass through a basic technical drawing, so you might have done inscribe and circumscribing cycle. So these are the two here. So whichever method if I want to use circle, for example, if the wall is circular now, just for me to specify the radius of the wall. For example, if the radius is 2000, that means the diameter will be 4. So that is it. The diameter will be 4000. So that is it. Then if I want to place another wall with a rectangle now, let's assume if the building is having a rectangular shape, so this is the way to place it. Then if I want to use inscribe, so for example, if I want to use inscribe, so you see it now. If I want to use, so if I want to use, that is circumscribed, right? So if I want to use this other one, so whichever one you want to use, you see it. So those are the things you can easily do with Revit. So you can see what we have done now. So if you go back to shaded, you see all the things we have done. Then the next thing we want to do is to delete. Let's delete all this one. I'm just trying to show you how you can use the tools you get. Then we can draw, we can pick faces. For example, if we come to wall, then we want to use another wall placement method. You can place a wall by picking lines. For example, let's assume I've come here before, then I'll come to model a line. So I model a line like this. So the line is not straight. Let's come to Z, undo. So let's draw a straight line. So if I come like this, so if I want to use this method by picking line to place wall, so if I pick this line, pick this line, pick this line, pick this line, so the wall will be placed. So these are the basic things that if you understand all this, there is nothing you cannot do in Revit. So the next thing I want us to talk about in this training now is our wall options bar. So our wall has option bar. So by the time I click on wall now, so in our wall option bar, let's assume I come back to, so we have our height and the depth. So this height now, we'll talk about the height from bottom to top of the wall, while the depth, we'll talk of the height of the depth now, the distance measure from the top to the bottom, while the height, the distance measure from the bottom to the top. Then we have our constraint now. So our constraints will, so for you to work on the constraints, you select the level to constraint to, or select unconnected to specify a height or depth. So for example, now I'm just going to demonstrate all these things that I've been using mount to talk for this our top constraint now. So for example, if we want to set our constraints, so let's come to one of our elevation. Let's set our elevations proper. Let's assume the height of our building from this level is 3 meters, for example. So we'll change this one to 3,000. So we'll change it. Sorry, I wanted to change it to 3,000. So pardon me. So I'll write 3,000. We are working with millimeter. So when I write 3,000, so automatically the wall have come down from 4,000 to 3,000. So this is our, let me look for, if I select wall, so this is our constraint level now. Base level is level 1, then top constraint is level 2, then the unconnected now. For example, if we want to change it to unconnected, so if we want to change it to unconnected now, we'll write 3,000. We can type another value, but we are comfortable with 3,000. That's why we'll leave it at 3,000 now. So that is it. So that is the basic thing I want to show you there. Then the next thing I want us to talk about now is our wall center line. Then the second thing called center line, then finish face exterior, then finish face interior, and core face exterior, then core face interior. So now I'm going back to the plan for me to be able to explain all this. So now if we say if we say wall center line, so our wall center line now is the center of this wall. That is the distance in between this place. So the center in between these two lines is our wall center line. That is our wall center line. For example, let me use a model line to show you the center line. So this is our center line. So this is the center line of this wall now. This is the center line. So if I want to change it to broken line now, hidden line. So this is our center line now. This is our center line. So where this line is passing through is the center line. Then the next thing we are talking about is our core face. Core faces. So this is our core faces now. Okay, I'm going to draw a two line, another line. Then probably I will use line. Okay. Then I will draw another line. So now in this video now, so okay, I'll move this guy, I'll move it to this place, move it to this place. So now our core center line now will be the distance So the distance, let me say it's the distance from here to here, that is the core center line. So if okay, let's use align to this, align this place and this place. So if we delete, let's assume we delete all this, then so our core center line now will be the distance. So if we offset for example, for me to find for us to find the distance between this place now, if I come to my model line, so then I'll click on this, so automatically this become my core center line. Now this is what I'm trying to explain since. So this become my, if I delete this one, so this become my core center line, because this line, so this is my core center line now. So this is my core center line in between these two places. So this is my core center line. Then the next thing we talk about is our, which is the third thing, finish face. So this become our finish face. So this place will become our finish face. This place will become our finish face. If we copy it, copy, so okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the permanent dimension and a temporal dimension. So in your Revit, when you draw anything, it's going to show you the temporal dimension. For example, if I right click and say create similar, by the time I'm drawing a wall, it will show me this dimension that it is showing now is my temporal dimension. So if I change, for example, if I select this wall and it's showing me the temporal dimension, showing me 13,864.5. so if I change it to 12,000, for example, this is the permanent dimension. So this is it. So your permanent dimension now, create a permanent dimension from a temporary dimension. Then your temporal dimension changes the length and position of the wall. Temporal dimension automatically appear when an element is placed or near another element. So these are the things you get to understand for you to be efficient in Revit. So the next thing I want us to focus on now is our modify tool. So under our modify tool, we have align, we have offset, we have mirror, pick axis, then we have mirror, draw axis, then we have split, we have split with gap. So we have move, we have copy. This is actually our move, this is our copy, this is rotate, this is trim, this is trim extend single element, then trim extend multiple element. So we'll be trying to demonstrate these tools. Sorry, my mouse is misbehaving. So we'll be demonstrating most of these tools. Now the first thing we'll be talking about is our align. So if we want to align this wall now, for example, for us to align now, let's assume we'll come to architecture, then we'll come to model, under model line, then I click, I draw a line here. If I draw a line here, then I'll come to align. I want to align this wall with this line. Then so for you to align, you first of all select the reference plane, then you now click on the object you want to align, so it will align automatically. So the next thing we want to talk about is our offset. So if I want to offset this wall, for example, so if I click this, select this wall, right click this wall now. So if, for example, if I come to offset, then I'll click the offset value. Let's assume 2100, that is 7 feet. Then I'll offset it. If I want to offset it down or I want to offset it up, so it's my choice. If I want to offset another one again, then if I want to offset another 3000 again, then I'll offset. You can see. So that is how to offset. So then the next thing we are going to talk about is our mirror. So if I want to mirror this particular work now with this any of the reference plane, for example, I come here, I'll say mirror, I'll select the object I want to mirror, then I'll now click the reference plane I want to mirror it with, and right click on this plane, so automatically it will mirror to the other side. So this is how to use mirror. So the first one I use is mirror by picking axis. So the next mirror we are going to use is this second one, which is mirror by draw axis. So this particular one now, let's first of all delete this one. So if I want to mirror, okay, let's select this one and delete it. If I select it, I'll right click, I'll say delete. Then I want to mirror with drawing axis. So I've selected this wall. I'll click on mirror, draw axis. Then I'll come and draw axis on the center of this wall. Then it will mirror by drawing axis. So this is how to use it. Then the next thing I want us to talk about now. So for us to move selected objects or elements. So if we want to move this wall now, we'll select it. Once we select it, we'll click on move. So we can move it to any side. For example, I can move it to this side, I can move it to anywhere I want to move it to. So let's move it to this side now. We have successfully move it. So if we want to copy something, so I'll right click, I'll copy. For example, if I select it, for you to do that, we have to select it first. We come to copy. So I want to copy it to this side. So that is how to copy. Then if I want to trim, for example, if I want to trim now, then trim / extend to corner. So I'll trim this place, and I'll trim this place and this place, then I'll trim this place and this place. Then if I want to trim with this second one, which is trim extend single element, so if I want to use that one now, so the best option would be for me to select. So let's draw something that is having something like this shape. So for example, so you can see it now, the way you trim it. So that is how to use that trim. Then this is trim multiple. So if I want to trim multiple elements now, so I'll use this one. For example, if I extend this, let's say I extend this wall like this, and I want to trim multiple now. So I'll click this, click this, click this, click this, click this. So that is how to use your trim. So I've demonstrated all that. So if I want to rotate, let's assume I want to rotate this model now. So I'll click on rotate. I'll rotate it like this. So if I want to rotate it with 90, for example, I'll write 90. So I've rotated it. So that is how to rotate. So if I want to rotate it with any angle, so I've already shown you how to split something. If you want to split it, I've splitted this line now. So I've turned into 2. So that is how to split element. So if I want to split element with gap, so I will split this. For example, I want to split this wall with the gap. So the gap I want is 450. So that is how to use it. So you can see the gap now. So that is how to split element with gap. Then the next thing I want to show you now is array. Okay, let's assume we want to array this rectangle now. And I select it, I'll come to array, then I'll click the number, let's say 6, then so the spacing between each of the rectangle, I want it to be 1500. I'll click enter. So you can see so let's go back and do it again. So when I select it, I'll click on R. So let's select it. So we have selected it. I'll click on array, then the number I want to array is 5. Then okay, let me select this. So I will say let's use the higher value, 3000. So you can see, so the reason you see, thank God this evil came up. The reason why this thing is like this now is because they are interfering with their self. So for you not to interfere with their self, see, let's do it this way. Let's Ctrl Z. So you come back to your array. So when you come to array, for you to get it right, let me just use 2 now. Then so cancel. Okay, yeah, we want to array. If we want to array this rectangle, we select it. Then after we select it, we click on 5. We want to array it 5 a number. Then we click this. Sorry. So we'll select it, come to array, then here after we select it, then we'll come to array, then we'll put 5, then we'll click anywhere we want to array it with. Yes, I don't want to array it like this. Then you see we have arrayed it 5 times. So if we come to the model, to the 3D, so this is what you see. If you want to see how it look like, so we have been able to work on array, so we'll bring it back. So now the next thing I want us to work on is our levels. So I want us to work on our level. Let's come to our SMATT. So let's name our level. So let's align this, use align to align this level. So we want to rename our level now. So pay close attention to this. So we want to call this place our GFL, which is our ground floor level. Then we want to use capital letter GFL. Then we'll save. Then we want to call this place our CFL, which is our complete facial level. Then we want to create another level down. Then we'll select this level and right click and we'll create similar. So we want it to be 450 down. So we'll take it to this side. Then it will become 450. For us to avoid the interference of the levels, we'll click on this bend arrow, which is add elbow. Then we are good to go. Then we can call this place FL, which is our foundation level, or we can call it GF, our average ground level, AGL. Okay, then okay. So we have been able to set our levels. We are in our ground floor level now. So the next thing is for us to edit our wall property. So let's delete this wall. For example, let's delete this wall. So I want to delete it. Select similar, right click and say select all instance. So I'll delete it. So let's come back to our wall. So when we come to wall, so we choose any particular wall that we want. So let's assume we are using this generic wall 200. Then the next thing we will do is to come to the property palette. So under the property palette, we come to edit. So we'll edit the thickness of the block. We want to use 225, then which is 9 inches. Then the color we want it to be. We want to change from here. We edit the properties of your wall. Pay a very close attention to this part. So from here now, I can come here. Then if I want to use this material, or I can write the name of the material I want to use. So just allow it to load so that we can write the name of the material we want to use for our wall. Just wait a couple of times for it to load. So it has loaded now. So if I say wall, right, type wall here, so it's going to display all the assets. You say wall paint. I want to use wall paint, for example. So I like using cool white, this cool white. So I want to use it. Then it's loading. So just allow the wall to load. So the wall I've loaded. So then I'll click on apply. Then I'll click OK. Then here also I'll click OK. Then I'll click OK. So the next thing now is for us to start our work. So the next thing I want us to talk about in this video is how to draw our grid. So me, most times it's optional, I like using grid. So for example, if I want to draw my grid now, so I want to start drawing my grid. So this one will be 1, then the next one, so then I'll draw the next grid. So my next grid will be 3830, 3830. Click enter. So let me go this way. So 3830, click enter. Then I'll take it to this way. Then my next grid. So my next grid will be 3080, which is 3080. Enter. Then I'll draw it this way. Then my next grid will be 3230. Will be 3230. All right, 3230. Then my grid 5 will be 1430. So from here will be 1430. Enter. Then my next grid will be 3830. Then my next grid will be 2630. So the next thing now is to draw our horizontal grid. So our horizontal grid, I'll start from here. So then I'll name this one A. So the same process will continue. Then our next grid will be 3830 as well. 3830. Then our next grid will be 1430. 1430. It's 1.430 meter. Okay, now so we can shift this other grid in. So now the next thing is to come and draw our wall. So if I click on my wall now, I want to draw my main guard tool. So what I mean by my main guard is my perimeter wall. So this is my perimeter wall. Then this other wall, this other straight wall, I'll take it to this place. Then this other wall, if you remember, there is a wall from here that is joining this place to this place. Then there is a wall here. There is a wall here. Then likewise this place, there is a wall here, then there is a wall here, there is a wall here, then there is a wall from here to here. Then the next thing now, there is a wall from here to here. There is a wall. So this will terminate here. Likewise this place. So there is a wall. So there is a wall here. There is going to be a wall here. Then so from here, this is going to be our, so we are going to have a wall here. So this is not a structural wall, load bearing wall. So most of our non-load bearing wall, we are not going to pull grid lines. So that is it. So next time we are going to continue from here. So we are going to end this video here today. This is what we have done so far. So we'll continue from here. Make sure you follow our video. Most times we do video training like this on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis, just to encourage as many that want to gain deep insight in design. So thank you for following Smart Civil Concepts. Thank you.